Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined here right now with John Capeless, who is a science and history teacher at Alpena High School. John, thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we just spoke with Megan, and she told us what Nemiglissi is. But tell me, how did you become involved with Nemiglissi and place-based education?
Absolutely. So it's a two-part answer. The first part is, how did I develop the class Shipwreck Alley? In 2005, I went out on a three-masted schooner, the Dennis Sullivan, and it was a part of a NOAA outreach program to connect educators with Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And I fell in love with the water. I had never been out on Thunder Bay before. And from there, I thought, how can I connect my students with the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary staff and the content? And I didn't see ready connections right away, but I had this idea for an earth science elective because all the things that cause shipwrecks are sort of earth science related. Ships crash into rocks, so we have a geology connection. How do these Great Lakes form? And why do we have these terrible shoals around around Thunder Bay? And then, so you have things like wind, waves, storms, fog that cause collisions of ships. So I thought we can turn this into an earth science elective and connect students with Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So I was asked to join the Education Steering Committee at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. I pitched the idea for a class. They were thrilled and very supportive, and so we developed a curriculum and we piloted a class in 2012. So Shipwreck Alley, the class that I teach, is a place-based education course featuring earth science, and we use Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary and shipwrecks to connect kids with the core class. It's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
So the second part of it is, how did I get involved with the Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative? And they approached me with a project. One of the things that students like to do hands-on projects, and students like to be involved in work that they feel like it has meaning, right? It has to have relevance to the students. So Brandon Schroeder from the Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative approached me with a project, a partnership with the Besser Museum. The Besser Museum has a fish tug, the Catherine V, that they would like to turn into an exhibit. And as part of that exhibit, they were hoping to feature oral histories from fishermen that worked on that boat or in the commercial fishing industry. And they asked our students to do the oral histories. So we trained our students to collect oral histories of retired fishermen, hopefully to be featured with the Catherine V when it turns into an exhibit at the Besser Museum.
Wow.
So that's how we got involved with the Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys are doing a lot all the time.
Yeah, it's a lot. Alpena High School is on trimesters, and so we have 12 weeks. So we have to pack in a lot of information about Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary and earth science, and then we give them some time to do projects too. And every 12 weeks we get a new crop of kids, so the project gets handed off from one group to the next, and it's a continuing project over time.
So is this the project that you guys are working on for place-based education, or is it something different?
Yeah, no, it's place-based education. So what we're doing is learning about Great Lakes ecology and fisheries research. So part of earth science is ecology, and part of the Shipwreck Alley class is to learn about the health of the Great Lakes and the ecosystems. And so we use the fisheries research to teach that. So it becomes place-based education by focusing on the commercial fishing industry in Alpena and the Catherine V and the different methods of catching fish commercially. The Catherine V is a special boat. It's a gill net boat. So it's got a unique design for one purpose, and so the students are learning about the health of the Great Lakes. They're learning about the health of the ecosystem. They're learning about how to manage a fishery, and then they're learning about the methods of catching fish in a sustainable way. And all of that is sort of wrapped into this Catherine V project, and it's all about their local community and their backyard.
So how has this project evolved over time, and what are your future plans revolving it?
The project started out with Alpena High School students collecting oral histories. We wanted to have capture the stories of Great Lakes fishermen talking about commercial fishing and this particular boat. So we tried to find people who had worked on the Catherine V and people who had worked in commercial fishing. And so from there, once we captured some of the stories, we have to pick out the good parts that can be educational for members of the community or exciting for kids that might come into the exhibit. Working on the Great Lakes it could be terrifying. For me, it would be terrifying. And so we try to capture the good bits from these interviews and find the right pieces to go into the exhibit. And then building the exhibit, the students have worked on helping to conserve the Catherine V, the ship. We're trying to get everything set up so that it's ready to be presented to the public. It was in pretty rough shape. It had begun to deteriorate, so a team got together to start to conserve the the ship or the fishing tug and improve its condition and make it ready for an exhibit. So the students have helped with that. And now we're working on things like signage and how will the exhibit look and appear, and what can we do to present things to the public.
Yeah, so would you say that this project connects to classroom learning or to a specific subject?
Very much so. Shipwreck Alley is a unique course because it's really based around this place. Shipwreck Alley is unique to Alpena, right? It's Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary is here because of the treacherous water off our shore, and all these shipwrecks are here. So all of the things that we're teaching are really place-based education outside of the project that we're doing with the Catherine V. But the Catherine V really helps us connect to one specific part of our curriculum, which is Great Lakes ecology. And so we use the Catherine V to teach the Great Lakes ecology.
So how would you say that your students are benefiting from being involved in this project?
I think doing place-based education is a real win for students. Students like to do things hands-on. They like to do project-based learning, where you give them a project and they get to take they get to come at that project and make it their own, right? They get to take control of their learning. So that's exciting. Place-based education really incorporates the best of all those worlds. It's hands-on, it's problem-based or project-based learning, and it's about something in their own community. So it really gives them ownership and it makes it more relevant to them. And then I think the most important thing is that students, in participating with this particular project, they know that when they're done, there will be a lasting exhibit that they help put their stamp on. And many people from the Alpena community, perhaps their own children, will one day go see the Catherine V and they'll know that they had a hand in making that exhibit. And I think that makes it more exciting. It gives them a little more drive. It makes them a little more willing to work hard, put themselves out there and stretch a little bit to get a better learning experience.
And it also kind of makes them a little bit part of history as well. So
I think so, absolutely.
All right, great. Thank you so much for being here today, John.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Stay tuned because coming up next, I'll speak with Bob Thompson, who is a teacher at Ella White Elementary.